The Flash movie is looking like it might deliver some epic Batman moments, but how will the Flashpoint aspect of the movie affect the new direction for the DCU? Let's talk about some theories. What's up, my comic comrades? The Flash solo movie is almost upon us, and though Ezra Miller is not the most loved person in the world, to say the least, the movie is going to play a crucial role for the DC cinematic universe going forward, transitioning the DCEU into James Gunn and Peter Safran's new vision for the DCU. Not to mention, the Flash movie will bring us the return of the beloved and iconic Keaton Batman, which makes me beyond excited. Keaton Batman has been my favorite live-action Batman since I was a kid, and the reasons are widely shared among my fellow Batman fans. He's just badass. In any case, no matter how you slice it, the movie is very important for the future of the DC film universe. And based on the trailer, it might actually be awesome. I mean, everything from Michael Keaton Batman, The Flash, Zod, Supergirl, and the return of Batfleck, I am down. Now, we've already discussed the possibilities of Flashpoint being a course-correcting story both here on the main channel and on the podcast, which is coming back, by the way. Stay tuned on that. But with the announcement of new leadership at Warner and DC shifting toward a reboot to the DC universe, as well as a reveal of part of their planned film slate, we need to look at how the Flash movie, and specifically the Flashpoint comic storyline, fits into the DCU going forward. First and foremost, when we talk about Flashpoint in comics, we are referring to the iconic Geoff Johns Flashpoint storyline, which was used to reset the entire DC universe and created the New 52 back in 2011. It rebooted all of DC's titles, giving many of its characters new modern origins, making it easier for new readers to jump in on a title and start reading characters like Batman, Superman, and so on without having to worry about any of the previous continuity. So how will Flashpoint influence the DCU going forward? The answer is really simple: by resetting the status quo, allowing for a younger version of Superman, i.e. Superman Legacy, in 2025, and a new version of Batman and Brave and the Bold to fit seamlessly into the new stories going forward, as it will all be explained via Flash messing up the timelines. You see, in the Flashpoint 5-issue miniseries, Barry Allen decides to go back in time to save his mother from being murdered. The problem is, in doing so, he accidentally created the Flashpoint timeline, a world where everything is completely different. For instance, Batman on this Earth is Thomas Wayne, as Bruce was the one who died in Crime Alley. His father Thomas is the one who went on the quest for vengeance, becoming the Dark Knight of this world, while his mother, Martha, ended up becoming this world's Joker. The Amazons and Atlanteans are also at war with one another. Superman is being held captive by the government and is extremely frail and weak as they're depriving him of sunlight, and so on. Point is, Barry jacked things up and created the Flashpoint timeline, creating different versions of characters and putting other characters at war with one another, and just all around in different situations. So with that said, first and foremost, we know by the trailer alone for The Flash that Barry has gone back in time to save his mother, also meeting another version of himself who has not yet become the Flash. So that right there is the main crux of the Flashpoint storyline. This also explains why Ben Affleck Batman and Michael Keaton Batman are in the movie, because Barry has traveled from the DC universe to the Michael Keaton Tim Burton universe, at least so it seems. We're not exactly sure how it's all gonna line up, because Zod from Man of Steel is also in this film, as is a version of Supergirl, but clearly it's gonna have something to do with going from one Earth to another. How many different Earths? We don't know at this point. In any case, the plot point alone is taken right from Flashpoint. Barry going back in time to save his mother and ends up meeting different versions of heroes and villains. At the very end of Flashpoint issue 5, Thawne Reverse Flash shows up to make Barry remember that he's the one responsible for creating the Flashpoint timeline, saying, "You were like a bullet through a windshield. You shattered history. The lives of the people closest to you were put on a broken path. You changed time like an amateur. This is your fault, Barry. This hell is your creation. You traded the life of your mother for the rest of the world." After this, obviously, Barry gets into a confrontation with Reverse Flash, a fight that Reverse Flash is winning, and pretty easily, mind you. But you see, in the past, Reverse Flash wasn't able to kill Barry, as he tells Flash, "I never killed you, Barry, because I need you. I need Barry Allen to become the Flash and to live a long life, long enough to generate a speed force that would be accessible centuries after its creation, in the 25th century, in my time. I was running through the time stream when you altered it. Because of that, you transformed me into a living paradox. You freed me from the shackles of any history. That means no matter what happens to Barry Allen, in the past, present, or future, I will still exist. I am removed from the timeline. I exist outside of it. You don't matter to me. I can kill you in your mother's womb, or I can kill you this very second. I can hurt you, but you can't hurt me, Barry, the legendary Flash, cannot hurt Eobard Thawne. And he's saying this as he's beating the ever-loving crap out of Barry, ultimately standing over him, ready to deliver the killing blow, but Thomas Wayne stabs him from behind with a sword, killing him. Long story short, Flash, along with the help of a freed Superman, Thomas Wayne Batman, and some others, would stop the war between Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and their Amazons and Atlanteans. At which point, Barry runs back into the time stream to try to fix what he's messed up. But time is like broken glass. Once shattered, it can never be fully put back together the right way. At which point, we get a double-page spread of Flash running through time trying to fix things, putting it back together while seeing images of a bunch of different versions of different DC heroes, past, present, and future. We then see a character called Pandora watch and help the Flash repair the timelines. In the end, Flash does return back to his world, but it's not the same as it once was, as we get a different looking Batman and even Barry looking different in a new costume, as he's created the New 52, which was the new continuity for DC Comics going forward that lasted several years. Alright, so now that you know how the Flashpoint comic ends and the main points about it, you can probably see where we're going with this as far as it influencing the DCU. And that's because we think at the end of the movie, Barry Allen Flash is going to come into confrontation with Dark Flash, who they're probably swapping out for Reverse Flash, as we've seen him via toys and products released for the film already. Anyway, the point is, after Flash, Batman, and Supergirl defeat Zod and Dark Flash, Barry will undoubtedly have to return to his timeline. He will be forced to run through the time stream again in order to get back home. But while doing that, just like in the comic book, he will not completely restore everything back to normal, which could be the explanation for all the different changes James Gunn will be making for the DCU, such as Superman now being a totally different person and much younger in his 20s, Batman being a different person and having his son Damian as Robin fighting alongside of him. But then it will also explain all the stuff and characters that are still the same, like Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, Zachary Levi Shazam, Peacekeeper, and more. Because the beauty of taking this aspect from the Flashpoint is that Flash running through the time stream doesn't have to mess up everything. Some things could stay the same, allowing James Gunn to pick and choose what he does and doesn't want to keep from the DCEU, aka the Zack Snyder era. You would have to assume that the Flash film is going to use some variation of this Flashpoint storyline to fix or explain changes going forward for the DC universe of films. And I would be shocked if the Flash movie doesn't explain changes for the DC universe by Barry having messed up the timeline somehow. I've been saying for years, Flashpoint is their scapegoat. It's a comic book story that all of us fans love and was a story that was used to reboot the comics. So why not just take something that was already successful in the world of comic books and do your version of it to reboot the films? Thankfully, we're almost guaranteed that's what they're doing at this point. But there you have it, a look at how the Flashpoint will probably influence the DCU. The only way it works is to literally take the main points of the comic and incorporate them into the Flash solo movie in order to explain the massive changes James Gunn and Peter Safran have planned for the DCU heading into 2024. But what about all of you? Are you guys excited for this reboot in the Flash movie? Let us know down in the comments. We out.